All right. Today is September 4th, 2018, and I'm bringing just a quick Litecoin update. And I want to talk about the difficulty of Elliott Wave and how difficult it is to count it as it's being formed, because Elliott Wave is built on fives and threes, and as I've been saying the past couple of days, and you can see fives and threes everywhere. I want to make this video a little shorter, but I just want to give you a couple different scenarios. I want to give a bull scenario, I want to give a bear scenario, and tell you how to play it so that you know how to trade in light of the two different possibilities. Now, we talked about yesterday, I already talked about this, but we talked about how an Elliott Wave can goes in impulses of five, and it would look like this. It would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's usually the way an Elliott wave would look. While an ABC correction would look like this. It would basically be A, B, C, and it would be in the opposite way of the trend. Well, sometimes after at the end of a correction, at the end of an ABC, an impulse would begin, or at the end of an impulse down, an ABC correction up would begin. So sometimes it's hard to tell whether you're dealing with an A, B, C, or if you're dealing with a 1, 2, 3 of an impulse wave. And so that's kind of what we're faced with right now. So my big question is, are we looking at a 1, 2, 3 of an impulse wave, of 5 impulse waves up, which means we're headed up, and that's a good thing? Or are we looking at an ABC correction from our downward trend, and that means we have more downward momentum to go? So that's the big question. I know a lot of you feel, there's some of you that feel we're definitely going up, and some of you feel that we're definitely going down, and to be honest with you, nobody really knows. Nobody really knows, and I think it's all going to take us by surprise as it happens. So I want to show you the count, and I want to tell you why I'm thinking we might be going up from here rather than down, because of this count. The count's so difficult to find. Some of the times when one of the things we do when we're trying to figure out what Elliott waves are going, we look at proportionality, and I guess when I just begin to look at proportionality, I have an A wave here and a B wave here, and they're a certain size. Well, I expect my C wave to be something about the same size, and that's about what I would expect just in proportionality, that C wave to look. The problem I'm getting is that we've got this really extended C wave, and it's just looking awful long. And so the question becomes, is that what we're looking at, a C wave? It's also, this wave is also broken out of our structure. If you can see this line, if I zoomed out for you, you could see that that's our triangle that we formed in the structure. We've broken out of the structure. Now, it doesn't mean we're going up. It just means we've broken out of the structure. So what are we looking at? Well, I still don't know. It could be an ABC, and we're looking for 5 waves in that ABC. And so the question is, can I find 5 waves in here? And when I count those 5 waves, can they be verified by counting the subwaves of those 5 waves? So that's kind of what we're looking at. ABC, again, proportionality, that looks off to me. But what if we're putting in a 1, 2, 3 right now instead of an ABC? That means we've got a 1, and that's a nice size 1. Then we've got a 2. We've got an ABC2 going down. And we've got a really extended 3, which makes an awful lot of sense. And then we're going to have a 4 coming down here, and then a 5 is going to be extended up there. And this is the first wave, really the one wave of the first impulse. But that one wave is divided up into 5 subwaves. So is that a possibility? Well, it certainly is. So why am I thinking this maybe instead of the ABC? Well, one reason is the proportionality. The second big reason is I just started to relook at my count. I'm just analyzing again, looking again at the count as more information has just come in. I'm saying, okay, I can count 5 waves in a 1. I've got little 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. I can count 5 waves there, and it's pretty good. So that's a possible 1 there. And then I can count 3 waves. So we got 1, 2, 3. There's a possible 2. So that could be a 1, 2, no problem. Could this be a 3? Now, in the 3, we need to have 5 waves within the 3. And as I look at this, just kind of looking at it without counting any waves or doing anything like that, I would count it something like this. 1, 2. Proportionality says this one right here rather than this one. But this is the one I've been counting as our number 4. So I'm just going to put a number 3 there just for kicks, number 4, and then 5 like that. And when I look at the proportion, sorry about that. When I look at proportionality there, it looks a lot better to me. It just does. Come on. Let me see here. There we go. It looks a lot proportional, but the only problem with that is the proportionality is that this 5 is extended bigger than the 3. Is that possible? Well, sure. The 3 isn't always the longest wave. It just cannot be the shortest wave. And in this situation, the 5 would indeed be the longest wave. So in that kind of count, I'd have to be able to count 5 subwaves in here for this 3. Then the 4 would be put in, and then I'd have to be able to count 5 subwaves in this 5. Is that possible? Well, let's see if we can verify that and validate that. So I'm going to zoom in here, and I'm going to go down to a smaller time frame of the 1 hour, and we're going to see if we can just zoom in on this third wave here and see if we can count 5 subwaves. Now, as I look at this, this is supremely hard because you've got this little 1. And then what's going on here? Is this a whole thing? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is really choppy, really hard to count. But as I just look at it, it would make more sense just to say, okay, this is 1, this is 2. Now, then we have this weird thing going on right here, this little M, and it's like, what in the world's going on there? And what kind of wave am I looking at there? I guess this would be kind of coming up and here for a 1, then a 2, then a 3, 4, and a 5. But here's the problem. I've got 5 waves, but I've got 5 waves for the third wave of the 3. That's why I keep saying it's got to go up here. And I still, as much as proportionality is telling me no, on the other hand, it's just looking better to me that that's the whole 3 wave. And then I can count it fairly simply. I've got a simple 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. And I really kind of see the 5 waves in each of the structures. It makes more sense to me there. But again, I'm not sure. This is a really choppy little section, super hard to count, not sure what's going on there. But let's just say for kicks that this is actually 3 and my counting is just bad and I'm not going to be able to count it. And then we come down for a 4. And then, so can we find 5 waves in this last 5? So here, we start here. Now, this was a correction right down here. So the question is this the 5th wave or the last wave, a truncated 5, or is this a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? I'm not sure how to count this little area right there. It's really, really hard again. But as I just look at it, I want to say this is 1 and that's 2. And I want to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's the 3. So this might be the 1, the 2. This might be the 3. Now we put in the 4 right here, and so now we're forming the 5th wave of the 5th wave, which is what I've been saying up to this point. And so the question becomes, and that, by the way, is the 5th wave of the 3rd wave if this is bullish. And so the question becomes, how do we count what's been going on the past day? So this would be 1, this would be 2, and then we got to be able to get 5 waves up. So we got 1, 2. I'm going to count this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is the 1, 2, 3 up here, and we're putting in the 4 of the 3rd wave. So let me just show that to you because sometimes it's hard to keep track of what you're looking at. So I'm going to zoom in just a little bit here. Get rid of that. All right, let's see what we have here. See if we can count it. We've got 1. I'm going to say this is 1, 2. Then we're going to go we got to count 5 waves in the 3rd. I'm going to say it's there. 3. We're putting in the 4. Probably going to come down here somewhere, and then 5 up, and then we're done. that 5 may come down here, something like that. So here are the 5 waves of the 3. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We got them in there. So that's looking pretty good as 5 waves of a third subwave. So I didn't count the subwaves for you there. So let me put in different color. I know. See, I hesitate to put all the subwaves in because it can get pretty busy. Let's see that in purple. Best count is going to be 1, 2, 3. We're saying this is 4. We're saying this is the 5th wave that we're making. And then we just counted the 5 waves of 3 of the 3rd wave. Something like that. So then let's count the subwaves of the 5th one. Here, this is really getting kind of confusing, even for me sometimes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The reason why I think it's going to do that is you see my Fibonacci retracement as well. We've come up to the past the 382. We haven't made it to the 0.5, which I think we probably a good landing point to make on a 3. So this is kind of where we are. So is this an ABC or is this a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we're actually bullish and heading up? So again, how do we trade this? Well, regardless, see, let's just pretend I'm all wrong about all of this, okay? That means, just completely wrong with my count, and I'm just on drugs or whatever. You say, Jim, you don't know how to count these waves, or it's too hard, you can't know, or whatever, and you're a skeptic and you're not sure. Well, here's the deal. We know that this is a corrective wave down. We see 1, 2, 3. It's very obvious. And then, so what we know we have to have with whatever wave follows, we have to have 5 subwaves. And those 5 subwaves must be able to be subdivided. So regardless of what we have prior to where we were, here's how we trade, even if we don't know where we are exactly and we find out later. Well, I'm just still going to count this as a 1. I'm still going to count that as a 2. I need to expect a 3, a 4, and a 5 to come. And I need to be able to count 5 subwaves of this 3. I got to be able to count 5 subwaves of this 1. So I ought to be able to go down to a shorter time frame. We're going to go to the 15-minute. And then count those subwaves. So regardless of where we are or where we've been, we ought to be able to count the subwaves. So here, let's see if we got it. Looks like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 of the 1. We've got 1, 2, 3 of the 2 there. Or you may just say that's 1, 2, 3, whatever that is. Now this is where it's so choppy it's hard to see, but we're looking for the kind of the biggest dip, and that kind of tells me where the first cutoff is. So either this is we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 3, 4, 5. This might be a 1 right here, guys. This is where it gets super difficult. So this might be a 1, 2 right there, and then we're going up 3 and then 4, and we're gonna put our 5 in there, and that's just putting in the 5 waves of the 3rd, and that would make a lot of sense. A possibility would be this is a 1, 2. That makes a little bit more proportional sense. And then we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we're coming down for the 4 right now. We could be finished with the 4 because I see 3 waves there. There's 1, 2, 3. Or we've got 1, 2, 3. Then we're going to have 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to have 1, 2, 3. And it's a bigger 4. So we're not sure what's going on there. We're going to have to wait and see. But regardless of the way I see these waves exactly, what I believe is we still head up. We have to finish these 5 waves. What I'm going to be waiting to see is where does this 5th wave end, and then I want to count them carefully after that, and then we'll be able to identify, okay, where are we gonna go with this 4 next. But I'll be selling up here. I will be selling somewhere up here above 70. I'm looking for a target somewhere around my first target I'm looking for is somewhere around the $72 mark or so. That's what I'm kind of peaking at. But that doesn't mean that's where that doesn't mean put a sell in at 72. It's just that's what I'm going to be looking at. So, okay, this is our update for where we are. But I think we head up from here, regardless of whether we have an ABC and we're finishing the fifth wave of the ABC, or this is a 1, 2, 3 and we got a really bullish count. So we'll talk more about that bull and bear scenario as this plays out, as we focus. But yeah, are we going down from here? I don't think so. I think there's a possibility we could come back down here to 65 or 66, 40 or 50, somewhere in that vicinity. Maybe even 67 is a possibility this could do ABC. I'm okay with that as long as it doesn't break. I would say as long as it doesn't break below 65. Or so. That would be, if it breaks below 65 or so, then I know we're heading down and I need to rework my count completely. So I'm setting stop losses around 65, not worried about losing a dollar because I'm trading. I'm trying to gain coins. I'm trying to gain money. We always take risk, but we minimize and maximize we minimize our risk. We maximize our reward. I think we're going up here. So anyway, I hope that helps you. We will do another video later. We'll place charts. If you're finding me on YouTube and you want to join us in our community, we've got a Facebook group. I'll put a link to that in the comments section below, and it'll be the Litecoin swing trading community. We'd love to have you. You can join up there. We'd love to have you join. You get free charts and free analysis every day from Jim of all trades here. Take it for what it's worth. It is what it is. All right. Hope it's helped. You guys have a fantastic day.